Greetings, Moonlight citizens. This is your Moonlight King, and normally when I with this podcast and the other podcasts I've done, I've had like one main rule: I don't talk about war, politics, or religion. Well, hot damn it, there's such a topic going on in this week of news that I'm gonna kind of skirt around this rule. Like, I don't enjoy talking about war, politics, or religion because there's a lot in those topics that I don't know. I don't want to just yammer on about something and then it turns out I don't want to talk about something I think I know and then it turns out to be false. But there's just such a topic that's been spreading around the news today, not just today, but this past week that I gotta say something. I don't know how to, but like there's something I would like to say. The assassination attempt of Donald Trump. Yeah, that's right, folks. The former president and current choice of the Republicans, I think. I'm not sure. See, I told you there's a lot that I don't know. But he was shot at one of his rallies. The bullet, hit his ear. And they found the guy who did it. I want to talk about that. That's what I want to talk about. The assassination, the conspiracies that have come up from it, and all that, the what's happened in the aftermath, all that on this episode of Moonlight Kingdom Podcast. So yeah, it it back, relax, and get ready for the podcast in 3, 2, 1, boom. Turns out the man who took a shot at Trump was a 20-year-old dude by the name of Thomas Crooks. News in the day it happened, the news kept calling him Thomas Matthew Crooks, and I wasn't on board with that because, well, normally you have the three-name thing for an assassin, like you're John Wilkes Booth or Lee Harvey Oswald. You give them the three names because, they're an assassin. They actually killed the guy. If it's just a guy who shot him, or a Mark David Chapman, if Mark David Chapman had just shot John Lennon and didn't kill him, he wouldn't be Mark David Chapman. He would just be Mark Chapman. If Lee Harvey Oswald had shot JFK but he didn't die, he would just be Lee Oswald. Because the assassin thing, you get three names. If you just shot him but didn't kill him, you get two names. So yeah, just call him Thomas Crooks from now on. That seems to be what they're doing. They're saying, 20-year-old Thomas Crooks. No one's saying the Matthew anymore because Trump is okay. There wasn't even a hint that he might not survive this because, well, he grazed his ear. It wasn't a headshot. So, like, yeah. And there's this. So, yeah, he was. There's this thing about. See, when this happened, the conspiracy theorists came out in force. Like, man, this dude would. This dude, there was these people coming out saying there's no way he was working alone. The CIA is in on this somehow. There was another group saying Biden did this. There was another group saying this was an inside job because the Secret Service didn't, catch this guy as quickly as they probably should have. At least that is the opinion of those people. And there were people on the scene. There were videotape of people at the rally seeing the dude with the gun before the Secret Service responded. And there's one dude who said, actually, there's three different people who said they tried to tell Secret Service there's a guy up there. And I was confounded, man. Like, more than anything, see, this whole thing, when Trump got shot at and the bullet hit him in the ear, he went down, but he got back up. And when he got back up, he had his fist in the air. He was pumping his fist in the air in front of his supporters. He was saying, fight, fight. And, like, as he was being carried away, we get this Michael Bay-esque shot. Like, you can't come up with something like this, man. Like, we get this shot of him, fists in the air, still defiant, blood running down the side of his face, and the American flag waving in the background. I swear that was Photoshop, because when I saw that, I swore that had to be Photoshop. No way that's an actual thing. No way this picture lined up so perfectly as to have him standing like that with the guards trying to carry him away and the flag in the background. It's like, man, this picture's been edited somehow. Somebody's done something. But no, actually, this was a real photograph taken from a low angle. Man, like, just like, oh, dude, this is, I mean, there were some people who say this was all a ploy to make him look good. Like, I see this and I remember the Nick Cage movie Snake Eyes. Like, except in that movie, that wasn't a ploy to make anybody look good. That was a ploy to actually get someone killed. So that's a different thing. But yeah, because okay, there's some similarities there because in both those situations, someone got shot at in a public setting. Secret Service was all over the place, but wasn't able to get there before the shots rang out. And what was this? The assassin ended up dead. That was yeah. And that guy actually got 3 names because he actually shot the dude. No wait, no he didn't. No he didn't. No he didn't. Secret Service guy only gave him 2 names because they shot the vice president in that movie, but he was fine. He didn't. You know how lax your Secret Service has to be that a random woman can just walk up next to you and hand you paperwork and stuff. Like, what the hell kind of crap is this, man? I mean, I guess for the sake of the movie, it has to happen so that, the shooting can happen. But damn, man. Like, but anyway, this, anyway, so this happens. And I just think this more than anything, this whole situation more than anything is going to bolster whatever following that Trump already had. The people who are already incentivized to follow him are now galvanized to do so. They're behind him more than ever because he's not just the former president. He's a former president whose words and whose ideas and something are so powerful, so effective that they're actively trying to take him out. Not only did they try to take him out, but like he's a president who got shot at and stood back up to like triumphantly, let it be known, like, I'm still standing, y'all. Like, it's like, damn, you can't buy this kind of publicity, man. That's what the people who are thinking this was, a plot, to curry favor with him, like that's what those people are thinking. And I'm just like, I can see why you'd say that. I don't think that's what's going on, but I can see why you would say that. Like, you would be of that opinion. There were those people who thought this is an inside job. Somebody in Trump's organization wants to take him out of the equation. I'm just like, really? What made you think that? I mean, of all the things you could have, I mean, I don't see that. I don't see that theory, man. It seems very much the people in Trump's organization want him there. Like, he's their best shot at getting, one of theirs back in the White House because he's, out of everybody, he's the most popular. Of his party, he's their guy. They could have gone with someone else, but no, he's the guy that they chose because he's the one most likely to succeed. Whether anybody wants to admit it or not, of that party, of all their candidates and all their people, he's the one most likely to succeed. That's why he was chosen, despite all this stuff he had going on with the court and the trial and everything. They chose him again. They tapped him again for that because he won the last time and nobody expected it. So tap him again. Why not? That's I don't think it was an inside job. I don't believe the Secret Service or whatever was in on it because, I mean, it's not like Snake Eyes, okay? This is like, yeah, that guy died instantly. If he was in on it, surely, I don't mean, so if this was an inside job, either this 20-something-year-old dude took this job knowing it was a suicide mission, or he took this job thinking he would somehow get away, like they would help him get away, and had no idea that he was going to be executed right after. Kind of like that guy Rabat from Snake Eyes. Man, it's a lot like Snake Eyes, but not so much so. There's no boxer who was in on the whole thing and threw a fight to get the people in position. There's none of that. They ain't. Snake Eyes is a really underrated movie. I gotta give that movie props. It's not one of Brian De Palma's best films, but damn, it's still got plenty to enjoy about it. I prefer the original ending. I really prefer the original ending where this big tidal wave comes out of nowhere and washes everything away. It shows because in that one, it just showed that the corruption and the deceit had grown to such an extent that a hand of God was needed to come out of nowhere and wash it all away and cleanse the Atlantic City. Plus it makes this line of dialogue Nick Cage's character has at the end make more sense, where he's like, yeah, I have nightmares where I'm back in the tunnel and I'm drowning. Because in the original ending, the tunnel gets flooded with water and they wind up underwater. So it's like him saying, yeah, I have nightmares where I'm back there and I'm drowning. But in the new ending where, that big tidal wave doesn't come, it's like what he's saying makes no sense. Like, you have nightmares that you're back in a tunnel with a dude pointing a gun on you and you're drowning? Like, why would you have nightmares about being back in that tunnel? What was so bad about being in the tunnel? Like, yeah, it was a better ending. But anyway, I'm rambling on about Snake Eyes. Back to Trump. Trump, yeah, it's likely. I'm not saying this is definitely what's gonna happen, but if he does win, this will definitely be what clinches it. This is gonna be what got people. I mean, people who are already gonna vote were definitely gonna vote for him anyway. People who are already voting for him were already voting for him. But this will get those people who are on the fence about whether or not to vote for him. Because it's like, more than anything, this is gonna be what clinches it. This is the president who got shot at and came back. Not only came back, he stood back up, and and if the way it seems, they're gonna spin it. I think they're gonna find some way to spin it as like, if he hadn't, if the Secret Service wasn't trying to get him off the stage, he would have stood up and kept talking. He would have kept, his speech going, and even in his appearance afterwards, like after the first public appearance after getting shot at, like he came back, he just came out through that tunnel. He was waving his hands at everybody, like, yeah, he had the big air bandage, but it was, he came out to like this rapturous applause, and it was like, I saw that clip and I'm thinking, it would be kind of funny if during that walkthrough he came out to 50 Cent song Many Men. Yeah, man, like many men, they step on me, but I don't cry no more. Like, that would be funny, but eesh. I don't know about that. There's some lyrics in there that don't jive with this white dude coming out here. But anyway, so yeah, it would be. I mean, instead of Many Men, you could have that song Bulletproof by, what's this, David Guetta. Rihanna's in it. Yeah, the Rihanna song Bulletproof. It's like, shoot me down, but I don't fall. Have him come out to that. I'm pretty sure Rihanna might have something to say on that. She'd be like, hey, take my music off this shit. But I don't know, man. I don't know what anybody's politics is. I don't know what people be believing over there in the good old US of A. But anyway, yeah, my thoughts on the whole thing. I mean, yeah, that's kind of what I have to say. That's pretty much what I have to say. It's gonna be this, more than anything, this makes this election that much, that I don't know, this adds some like stakes to it. It makes the story of the election, it's not just another election. This election's got an assassination attempt in it. Like, there were people who came forward after it happened saying, I'm surprised this didn't happen sooner. I'm not one of those people, man. Like, actually, okay, I am surprised it didn't happen sooner, but I don't wish that it happened sooner. I don't wish death on anybody. I mean, you get that, that thing like, something John Leguizamo said in the one movie. He's like, man, I wish death on people early in the morning when I'm stuck in traffic. Like, when you do that, like, yeah, I get why people do that. You're so mad that you're like, no, if you die, freaking, like, cut me off in traffic. It's like, yeah, you do that, but at the same time, it's like, you don't actually mean that. You don't actually wish death on this dude. You're just that mad that you would say that. Like, just because you say it don't make it true. Just because you say it don't mean you want it to be true. Yeah. Like, personally, I wouldn't wish death on anybody. Nobody should get shot at. This is a harrowing thing to experience. And also, that shit hurts. Even if it's a graze, like a bit of ear came off, like, even if it's just like Trump, it's a graze or anything, that shit still hurts. Bullets hurt. I don't know if you know this, but getting shot hurts. Shit. But yeah, this whole thing, the fact that the guy who shot him was like some 20-something-year-old. That guy was clearly working alone. No conspiracy here. There's no conspiracy here. If this really was a big conspiracy, some government conspiracy, like the CIA was in on it, the CIA would have gotten a better shot. The CIA would have gotten a way better shot than this dude. Like, the CIA is a lot of things. They could be, they're the I don't know, they're the CIA, man. They're smarter than this. They wouldn't get some 20-something-year-old rando to take a pot shot out of nowhere. Like, but the fact that he was able to get in place to do that, the fact that he actually got a shot off before someone got to him, he got a shot off before Secret Service got to him. The fact that 3 people saw him before the Secret Service just makes the Secret Service look stupid. I'm sorry, but like, I don't like dissing people, but like this event, more than anything, it's like I think it's a case of you go to hundreds of these events throughout your career as a Secret Service agent, and nothing happens. Nothing. So you start to relax because you think, surely nothing's going to happen here. This is just a rally. He's not president yet. He's running for president. Nobody's going to take a shot at a guy running for president. He might not even win. And you start to relax, but then you relax thinking nothing's going to happen, and then something does happen. And you look stupid because you were underprepared, because it's like, we didn't think anyone would try this. We thought there's no way someone's going to try something here, of all places, here, at this place, in this town. No way someone's going to try something like this. I'm not saying this is what happened. I'm just saying this is what could have happened. It's possible. It is possible that somehow this dude managed to find a blind spot that they were previously unaware of, until someone pointed it out. Well, until 3 people pointed it out. But still, I don't know. I really don't know. Can't say for certain this is what's happening, but it might have been. This dude was definitely working alone. They identified him. He was this 20-something-year-old loner. Didn't really have friends. He was just, I guess you could, I can see why people are like, this was definitely like, I don't know, and some kind of agency thing or an inside job, because he's the perfect kind of guy you would want for something like this. A guy who didn't have that many friends, didn't have much in the way of family. When he got popped, wouldn't be missed, and had no real political ties to speak of. Or no obvious political ties to speak of. So it's like, yeah, definitely a thing. I can see why people would think that way, but I don't think that way. I don't look at this and think this has to be part of some larger conspiracy. No way, it's just one guy. In this case, okay, I usually try to wait for as many facts as possible. That's why I'm talking now, and I didn't make a video on the 14th after seeing it happen. So in this case, it seems it really was just one guy. It really was just a dude acting alone. So this ain't no John Wilkes Booth thing where he had many co-conspirators helping him. It's not a Lee Harvey Oswald where maybe, just maybe, the CIA was actually in on it, or it was the Russians, or any of that. This ain't that. This is really just one dude who got a gun and decided to try and, take out Donald Trump. For why? We'll never know. The only person who could tell us is dead. So, that's all. That's all we can say about old Thomas Crooks. Like, his name's in the friggin' history books now. Okay, I don't think so. If Trump becomes president, yeah, his name's gonna be in the history books now. But if he doesn't, then he'll be in the news. Like, he'll be in the news for quite some time. That name will ring out everywhere. Anybody named Crooks is gonna have a hard time in their life, but then again, your last name is Crooks. You are guaranteed to have a hard time in your life, man. Like, that's like having a last name, I don't know, introducing Mr. like Bernard Thuggin. Like, B. Thuggin? That's your name? Like, you're going to have a rough time through life. But anyway, not to make light of this, not to speak ill of the dead or anything. It's just, I'm trying to bring some levity to this situation. There's not much to be found here. There's definitely some jokes to be made. I've seen a bunch of memes and all the stuff that, the gifs and whatever, but, there's not much going on. There's so many memes about Trump being bulletproof now. They took the 50 Cent bulletproof thing, and instead of 50 Cent's head, they had Donald Trump's, and even 50 Cent got in on it. And he played the Many Men song, but he had that poster of him, but Donald Trump's head is on it in the background. So he's like, hey, man, 50 Cent will never miss out on an opportunity to clown somebody. Woo, man. Good old 50 Cent. Anyway, yeah, I think I've said all I can say, really. Yeah, that's all the singular thoughts that I have about the Donald Trump July 13th assassination attempt at the rally. So yeah, this has been Moonlight Kingdom Podcast. I have been your host, the man on the moon. And now let's hear what another person has to say about this particular event. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all them nice things. Peace out, and keep tuning in. In 3, two, one.
Yeah, to get into like more podcastable territory or like a bit of a deep question here. Let me ask you this. There's this question that like Tom Cruise asked in this one movie, like back in the 2000s. He said, "Why should a death happening here in the city that you're in affect you more than a more gruesome death happening tens of thousands kilometers away?"
Mm.
You know
Okay,
why?
so I'm also gonna say this, right? So
You
I
answering the
believe,
question? Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
I'm answering the question. So
All
I
right.
believe charity starts at home, okay? I understand, yes, there are horrible things happening in the world, but there are also horrible things happening in the world, like around you, that you are directly a part of. And yes, I know there's like a lot of organizations doing for Palestine, doing for Congo, but I hardly see anybody like coming up and saying, "Hey, what about South Africa? Like homelessness is on the rise here. Children are suffering, etc., etc." Like the response that Palestine had, especially in South Africa with our Muslim population, was crazy, and I am proud of them. Finally, for one thing, they were able to like stand up, do some good. But like, where's that response when it comes to your own country? You can sit in your houses, you can say racist things about this president and what you think of the people in this country, but then you can't stand up and make a change about it. No, it's bullshit, man. I believe that charity starts at home, first and foremost. I acknowledge that bad things are happening in the world around us because that is unfortunately the nature of humans. We are prone to conflicts, etc., etc. But like, also focus directly on the people around you. When we're okay, we can worry about other people.
Yeah, I believe that we can't really effectively help anyone else until we take a long, hard look in the mirror and realize, yeah, we have problems too, and we
Exactly.
need to address those
That's what I'm trying to
problems
say.
before we can move
Like,
on.
I do acknowledge what's bad in the world, like Congo and Palestine. I understand it. I'm a part of like helping in those aids and programs as well. But I'm also a part of the programs here that directly affect South Africa. And I just wish that the response that those countries and those horrible things got happened here. I wish people stood up more, took part in charity work a bit more, the economic and political development here in their own country.
I do
They
have one
should.
thing to ask you though. We've been dancing
Mm.
around it for a bit, but like a couple days back, former U.S. President Donald Trump took a bullet to the ear upon finding out what had happened. Finding out that someone tried to take a shot at him. What was your immediate reaction to that news?
I wasn't shocked because I think like I was more surprised that it didn't happen sooner with like the reaction to Donald Trump, becoming president. I was sure like 4 years ago, when he was first elected president, um, like there would have been a bit more of an outroar. Not four, sorry, a few years back when he was first elected. But and I thought like something like that would have happened, but like I wasn't shocked. To be honest, I think he is a G for taking it so well. I mean, he still had the balls to get back up there, complete his speech, but like I wasn't like shocked, like by the things he said in the past, by his actions. Not to say that he's done like wrong or awful things, but he is a controversial figure who has done equally good and bad things for America and its society and political spheres, etc., etc. But I don't know, man. He is a controversial figure. At the end of the day, he has done some pretty bad things. He's also done some good things in terms of some policies he's put up. But like, I get it. I get why it happened, but it wasn't a shocker.
Yeah, I can I will never know the reason why it happened. The guy they got was taken out shortly after the first shot was fired. But yeah,
Yeah, and
that's
and
it's
obviously the conspiracy theorists are eating it up, man.
oh yeah, they came out of the woodwork fast, saying like, "Oh, this was
Uh-huh.
staged." Some were saying, "Oh, the CIA were up to no good. They were the ones really behind it." Others were like, "This was just set up to make him look good." Others say that this was set up to actually try to take him out, and it's just, I don't know. It's just this whole thing. You can't have. I mean, of course, it's there were already like vapid conspiracy theorists on there were plenty of conspiracy theorists on either side of the divide when it relates to Donald Trump and the things he's done or election in general. But now it's like more apparent like okay, the guys that were there before, they're back, but now there's this whole new crop of people cuz you know, this is this is big news. This is a new thing. There's a whole new wave of people that can open their eyes to it, and
Well,
it's
all I
easier
can
to
say now
understand.
is after that like assassination attempt, I feel like Donald Trump is definitely gonna win. Like definitely.
I absolutely got that vibe when it was when I saw the photo like of after it happened. There's this picture circulating online. It's this low angled shot and looking straight up. It's a shot of Trump like standing like upright. He's got his fist in the air, blood streaking down his face, and there's the American flag waving in the background. And I'm like, oh, you couldn't have directed this crap, man. Like, you can't write this shit. Like, that's a hero shot right there. Like, I mean, the conspiracy guys are like, see, damn it, like it proves more than anything. This was a setup. They lined everything up so perfectly, but like, I look at it and I'm like, it's highly likely that this just bolstered whatever support that he had. It's gonna grow now. It's gonna like embolden his freaking followers even more because just that one shot of the bloodied president still standing, still defiant, trying to be carted away by Secret Service while the freaking flag waves in the background. That's the kind of stuff you'd put in an action movie. That's like something out of a Michael Bay film, but this ain't no film, it's real life. So it's like, uh, yeah, it definitely gave the vibe like, oh man, like he's gonna win, isn't he? That's what's about to happen.
100%.
You just see that because nothing, it's the one thing that honestly could have like revved up his followers and anyone still on the fence. Like, oh, it just screams like this guy, what he's saying, what he's doing is so big, so powerful that people are actively trying to silence him. Like, they go spin this like that. You know they're gonna find some way to spin this
No,
just like that. So
it
yeah.
tells a good story, and people are going to eat it up, and people are going to vote for him, and he's going to be the new American president of 2024. But honestly, I don't know. Like, what do you think about this? About like people who are in their 70s, well into their 70s, running for president?
There should be an age
Especially
limit.
when you look at Biden, hey? Like, we've seen him, like, didn't he, like mess up a few times in his speech and debates recently? He was referring to his vice president as Vice President Trump instead of Kamala Harris, and etc. etc. Like, I don't know. I feel like um there should be more regulations with how old you can be to run for president and how long you can reign as president.
There
Because I
are.
feel like, I don't know, like also you're part of a different generation when you're that old, you know what I mean? And like you don't exactly represent the working class, the backbone of every country being that old. Like you don't understand the struggles, etc., you know, everyday adults now who are in their 30s and 40s being 70 years old. I don't get it, man.
To be fair, well, okay. First off, there are rules in place for how long a president can run. In America, the president can only run for 4 years. Each president's term
Yeah,
is
but it
only
can
4 years.
continuously be re-elected?
No, you can only serve 2 terms as president.
Ah, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So,
So this would be Donald Trump's final term if he did win.
yes, if he ran for president a second time, it would be the last time. Yeah. Did you think it was weird that no one ever ran for more than like 8 years? You didn't think that was odd if
I,
people could run continuously?
I didn't know.
Don't you think
But
that if
I
Obama
still
could
think we
have,
should
he would have
be.
tried to run again?
I get you. I thought he was just sick of the bullshit or something.
I mean, he
But
probably was. Have you
I
seen his
think we
hair?
should be.
Did you see that man's hair
Yeah,
from the day he became president to the day he stopped? That man went from jet black to ashtray in 4 years.
true. But like I feel like in terms of the age thing, definitely there can be stricter regulations. At least 60, man. At least go with like the regular retirement age. Like 60 is your cutoff, you know?
Yeah,
Finished.
you should not be like in your 70s and running for president. Like heck no. You are too old to relate to most of your like constituents, and you
Yeah,
can't.
exactly. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Even with the voting thing, like, do you think that people who are in their 90s and 80s should be allowed to vote? I'm not trying to be depressing or anything. I'm just saying that these people are, getting close to their death date. Again, not to sound depressing, but imagine you are coming in your hundreds, these 80-year-olds and 90-year-olds, basically voting for certain beliefs and legislations to be placed, in your country, in your society. And then you're just going to die. And it's mostly going to affect the working class, people who are younger, etc., etc. You know what I mean?
I get it. Yeah.
Like, it doesn't seem fair for these older people to be voting for legislation that doesn't really represent the real, the working class citizens of the country. It just doesn't make sense.
With with well, yeah, he got shot at back in last week. He got shot at last week. I think it was the 13th on Saturday, and I think on Monday night he was already back at another rally. He had like a big old like band-aid on his ear, and and then the memes came. So many memes about like when he comes, like people like, man, it would be kind of cool if he came back like after getting shot and he played like a 50 Cent song, like just oh shit. And I'm like, I was one of those people. I was like, if he came back with the song Many Men playing in the background, I'm like, that might have been funny. But like, full like he probably doesn't know who 50 Cent is. I'm not saying he's out of touch. I'm just saying like he honestly probably doesn't know who 50 Cent is. And it would, as funny as it would be to have Donald Trump come out to like a 50 Cent song, there's some lyrics in there that would make it kind of weird that a white guy is coming out to this music. But yeah.
True. It wouldn't be good for publicity, you know?
Yeah. Anyway,
But yeah.
moving forward from that, what was I gonna say? Well, away from this political brouhaha onto more pleasant topics. I mean, because people getting shot at and everything it's always a headline grabbing topic. No dispute there. But like, what was I gonna say? Well, damn, I think I still got something to say about this podcast. The guy who took the shot, Thomas Crooks. Apparently they did an interview with one of his classmates. Turns out he was a bit of a loner. Like, he got bullied a lot. He would sit alone.
The old narrative,
Yeah.
a lonely loser, a lone male, because like, like especially when it's like a white dude, like they want to like separate them from the rest of the white population. They'll be
Yeah.
like, lone gunman
Yeah, like
walked into this
they'll be
place.
like, he wasn't one of us, you know. No, he had no
Probably
friends.
mentally ill.
They'll just be like, he had no friends. He had no real family to speak of. You know, he was just by himself. No one wants to be anywhere near this. So they're like, yeah, he didn't know anybody. Yeah, he didn't. His
Yeah.
girlfriend would be like, oh, I never knew him. We were never tight like that. You know, just he was always alone. You know, because the friend was like, yeah, he was always getting picked on. Like, okay, what were some of the things they picked on him for? Like, you know, just his appearance and like, you know, the way he was, you know, like, he just gave the vaguest explanation. Like, they even asked him, can you tell us?
They're trying to protect their own kind, man. But let it be a person of color or a black person. There they are. Gang violence. Gang violence is ruining this country. We need to put an end.
The dude they brought up just gave the vaguest response, like, okay, and even asked him what were some of the things that they said towards him. He was like, I don't know. It's just, you know, he was bullied a lot, though. I mean, like, what do you mean you don't know? He was bullied a lot, but you can't recall why he was being bullied, what he was being bullied about. You're just like, yeah, he sat alone a lot, you know, during lunch. Like, he never really sat with anybody. So he was a loner. You know, it was kind of sad, really. Like, you don't do... I remember I saw that and I'm like, so you're telling me that you thought this was sad. You saw a dude being bullied. You saw him sitting by himself. And not once did you think, maybe I should sit with this dude. Maybe I should be nice to him. If you were so
Like,
damn
that's
sad,
what
like,
you're gonna do.
I get that, but still, don't come out here acting like concerned citizen, like, yeah, you know, it was real sad what happened to him, you know, like, he was always bullied. I mean, you know, he was always sitting by himself. It was, you know, the poor guy, you know, like, I totally could have done something about it, but, you know, I just couldn't, you know, I had stuff to do. Like, just, don't come out here acting like no hero,
It is
man.
what it is. That's literally what they're saying. It is what it is.
Yeah, he's you know what this dude was? This dude is that one neighbor who, like, something horrible happens to like their neighbor and the news asks, "Hey, so what happened here?" And the neighbor be like, "Oh, it was terrible what happened to them." Like, you know, like, I wish, you know, I feel like I wish I had done something, you know, like, they somehow spin it and make it about them. Like, something happened to someone else. It's like, man, it's like, you hate to see such horrible things happen to your neighbors. It's like, I don't know, that day I just had a bad feeling, you know. I wish I had said something earlier. Like, lady, fuck you. You didn't have no feeling. You're just trying to feel important. Like, oh shit, man. It's like, whatever.
I recall the past real vaguely. I remember everything they said. Maybe thought that I was crazy, thinking that one day they'd see my name. Love being a loner, always moving closer. Knew exactly what I wanted to have. Fear of growing older, chip all on my shoulder. Told myself I'm never looking back, and now I'm dissonant. I'm losing my innocence, and you don't know my intent. And now you better back down, 'cause I'm